Please remain standing. My name is Sarah Morgan Sylvester, and I am honored to be the Chancellor of the University of British Columbia. Please join us in the singing of O Canada, led by our University Marshal, Nancy Hermiston, Director of the Opera and Voice Program at the UBC School of Music. Thank you very much, Nancy. We pause for a moment to give thanks, spiritual and temporal, for the blessings we share in this wonderful world, this great country. this blessed province, this splendid university. And we respectfully acknowledge the traditions and customs of the Okanagan Nation and its people, in whose traditional territories we are gathered today. We give thanks for these proud students, their families and friends on this most happy occasion. Please be seated. Well, a warm welcome to you all, to our 2013 graduates, to your parents, family, and friends who are joining you here today in this celebration of your achievement. What a wonderful and long-awaited day. Congratulations. Spring is my favorite time of year. Gardens burst into growth, fruit trees blossom, the sun feels great, it finally stops raining. No longer vitamin D deprived, we seem to smile a bit more and have a bounce in our step. Newly energized, we clean house and plant seeds. Spring is a time of growth and rejuvenation, and like this graduation ceremony, it's also a celebration of transition. Any transition, while exciting, is a challenge. Adjusting from student to full-time employment, from undergraduate to graduate studies, from what you are now to what you will be in the future. Facing any change of magnitude takes a degree of courage. I'm a gardener, so I see spring up close, and it's not always pretty. I cut caterpillar nests out of fruit trees, clip off rose leaves infected with black spot, and use the garden hose to rinse away aphids. Spring can be frustrating. I can't grow beets for the life of me, and I'm endlessly weeding. Spring brings unexpected results, like my clematis, carefully positioned to climb up, hide a downspout, and run along the top of my garage. I planted that clematis 3 times. And finally, this spring, success. Not as expected with clematis number 3, but with the first plant, long ago forgotten and written off as a failure. Spring and setbacks go hand in hand. But then I'm not sure you can have growth and rejuvenation without the odd setback. The 100-Foot Journey, a novel by Richard Moraes, is about transition. Hassan Haji, a Muslim born in Mumbai, is raised in a culinary family. His grandfather has a tiffin lunch delivery service, and then later a modest restaurant. They live in transition on the edges of a slum. As Hassan says, we were not of the shanty town or of the upper classes of Malabar Hill, but instead lived on the exposed fault line between these two worlds. Living on an exposed fault line does not sound comfortable. But many of us do exactly that as we struggle to reconcile our home life and our work world, our cultural roots, and the culture of the place where we live today, our family's expectations, and our own hopes and dreams. I once believed that transition consisted of a concrete series of events with a clear start and a definite ending, like going to university and successfully graduating. But now I think life is an overlapping series of transitions, and it is not always comfortable. Looking back, perhaps one of the greatest benefits of attaining my UBC degree was that the process made me decidedly uncomfortable. I was challenged with living on my own, making new friends, understanding new concepts. There was certainly frustration and the odd setback, but like spring, it was a period of great personal growth. I hope we've made you a bit uncomfortable too. And with that, given you the tools to not just cope, but thrive with transition. In the 100-Foot Journey, Hassan's mother understands the importance of new experiences and exposes him to different cultures through food. They dine at a French restaurant together, and in Hassan's words, "The strangeness of the place overwhelmed me. I didn't know where to begin with this stiff menu. Such exotic-sounding dishes like bouillabaisse and coq au vin, and I looked panic-stricken at my mother. But Mummy smiled kindly and said, 'Never be afraid of trying something new, Hassan. Very important. It is the spice of life.' A university is like a smorgasbord of new things. And while sometimes it may feel as though you've been drinking out of a fire hose, your next new experience is just around the corner. As you graduate, your challenge is to keep finding ways to have those new experiences, experiences that make you feel just a bit uncomfortable. Now, I'm not suggesting that you be one of the 35 and counting Canadians signed up for the Mars One project, but it is important to keep your world large, to seek and embrace change. Those changes don't need to take you to new planets. Sometimes the most challenging transitions are those closest at hand. For example, the title, The 100-Foot Journey, refers to the distance between the only 2 restaurants in a small French village. The Haji's larger-than-life, boisterous East Indian restaurant and a traditional 2 Michelin star French restaurant and country inn. The journey may only be 100 feet, but it is the most uncomfortable and difficult part of Hassan's transition from cook to truly great chef. When I was first asked to be UBC's volunteer chancellor, the thought made me a little uncomfortable too. After all, I'm not an academic. My background is in business. But I try to do something that scares me on a regular basis. And you know what? I found that this group isn't really that scary after all. The rewards and my own personal growth have been immense. And one of the greatest rewards is the opportunity to confer degrees on all of today's graduating students. So let me end my comments by offering you my warmest and most sincere congratulations on your achievement. Change is a challenge. Just ask astronaut Chris Hadfield, now transitioning back to Earth's gravity. Even so, I do hope you will seek out the exposed fault line and experience the growth of your own personal spring. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Stephen Toop, and I have the honor to serve as President and Vice Chancellor of the University of British Columbia. Let me join the Chancellor in offering my heartfelt congratulations to each and every one of our graduates. I hope that you'll take a moment today to savor this experience, your achievements with the support of your friends and family, It really is a great day, and we're very proud of you. Every year at Convocation, UBC bestows honorary degrees upon individuals who, in the opinion of the university community, have fit the criteria of excellence and eminence in their chosen field. Edward Bertinsky is one such person, and I invite him now to step forward to receive his honorary degree. Madam Chancellor, this university engages in reflection and action to build understanding across cultures and to enrich our intellectual and social lives. Edward Bertinsky does this in full measure through his extraordinary photography. It's an honor to cite the works of a gifted photographer who has given us such unique images that remind us of the impact that our human existence has upon the natural world. Mr. Bertinsky's photography explores the intricate link between industry and nature, combining the raw elements of mining, manufacturing, shipping, oil production, and recycling into eloquent, highly expressive visions that find beauty and humanity in the most unlikely places. Born in 1955 in St. Catharines, Ontario, a town dependent on auto assembly, he grew up in a heavily industrialized part of the country, but one that's picturesque nonetheless. He started taking pictures at age 11, shortly after his father purchased a used camera and some darkroom equipment. He earned his degree in photography from Ryerson University and studied graphic art at Niagara College. He has taken his photographic skills around the world, winning international acclaim for his imagery of manufacturing processes and industrial activities. His remarkable large-format photographic depictions of global industrial landscapes are included in the collections of over 50 major museums around the world, including the National Gallery of Canada, the Bibliothèque Nationale de Paris, the Museum of Modern Art, and the Guggenheim Museum in New York. In 2006, Mr. Bertinsky became an officer of the Order of Canada. He's been active since the mid-1980s in helping others refine and advance their art through Toronto ImageWorks, and is an active supporter of the Toronto International Photography Festival, the Ryerson Gallery and Research Centre, and numerous other organizations. Madam Chancellor, for his extraordinary contributions to Canada and the world through the art of photography, I ask you to confer the degree of Doctor of Letters honoris causa upon Edward Bertinsky.
By authority of the Okanagan Senate of this university, I confer upon you, Edward Bertinsky, the title and degree Doctor of Letters honoris causa.
Now gives me great pleasure to ask Dr. Bertinsky to say a few words.
I'm very honored to be here today and that UBC saw my work worthy and my activity in the community worthy of a doctorate. I'm very honored, and thank you all. Part of, I think, it was quite a while ago from when I graduated, and part of what I felt when I graduated was I just climbed that first mountain only to see the mountain range. It was a bit daunting that one doesn't know how your life is going to unfold with this new education and the search for work. And one of the things that I kept constantly close to my heart and to my mind is, where is it on the horizon that I want to go? What is it that if I had my choice of doing something, what would that be? And by keeping my eye on the horizon, there were many times that it was like sailing a ship. I was tacking in the totally opposite direction, working in a car factory or working in a mine. And I'm hoping to be an artist, and yet I'm doing something totally different. But the way I approached it was that I always took whatever job I was given and did the absolute best I could with it and learned as much as I could. And it was out of working as a miner in a car factory, that I began to understand what it is I had to do. As a Canadian, I loved going up north. I loved that raw nature, and that's something that we all possess here as Canadians. We are a small population. Believe me, I've been to India and to China, and 35 million people would be a small province in China. China has now, we believe, 1.5 billion people. We have 35 million people in a massive piece of property. And it's that piece of property, that land that we've been given, that I've been able to understand what it is that nature intended for that land. What does it look like? What did it look like 10,000 years ago, 20,000 years ago? It gave me a geological sense of what it is in our place in the world that I couldn't have understood if I lived in Brooklyn and never left, or born and raised in Holland and never left Holland. I would not know what a raw forest looked like. And that, to me, was the formation of a vision. Because what I began to understand is, when I was born, there was 2.5 billion people, and as I was going through, every decade was adding almost 1 billion more people to the planet. This is unprecedented. And so what I began to think of is not to photograph nature. To me, that photographing nature was already an understood genre. I could not teach us something else by just photographing nature untouched. What occurred to me is that I needed to photograph the human systems imposed onto the natural landscape that allow us the kind of life and the kind of expansion that we're experiencing today. So what I'm going to do is, we're going to try an experiment. I have a computer, and we're going to try and run a slideshow. And as these slides go by, I'll be speaking and delivering a speech about some of the things that I think are important in our time and what I've learned as a result of traveling the world and photographing human systems imposed on our planetary system. Let's see if it works. Yes, it does. Here we go. Western civilization is clearly entering a new phase of capitalism. There is a perceivable shift in values, and it is quickly becoming unacceptable for companies to produce profits at any cost. The hammer is about to drop on those who hold onto that aging paradigm. The new emerging generation wants life cycle accountability. Although instant results are not realistic, consumers, through the combined pressure of increasing green media coverage and their peers, will want to see that the products they buy are made by companies who are on the path to improving their manufacturing methods and reducing their carbon footprint. It is inevitable. This is not a fad. This is a trend, and it's happening right now. Students leaving the school system today may legitimately feel they are about to inherit one of the greatest challenges for mankind, and are being told there's a good chance it can all go over the edge if solutions are not found quickly and implemented. This is no fun. When I graduated in the early 80s, making a living, finding a girl, and having some fun was what I spent most of my time thinking about. At that time, the notion that the human impact on the planet was in a state of backfiring, putting us not only at risk, but all living things on the planet, was on the minds of but a handful of environmentalists. Everyone else was blissfully moving ahead, business as usual. When I graduated, I didn't have this extra layer of urgency to think about. So what to do? It's hard not to be cynical when one sees corporate interests calling the shots as the middle class gets squeezed and the government more often looks like an extension of those same interests rather than a benevolent body looking out for our interests today and into the future. It's hard not to feel that the average citizen is thought of as nothing more than a buyer, psychologically manipulated to respond to the ever more sophisticated advertising mechanisms developed by the media. And then there is this energy problem. Combining the daily energy output of oil, gas, and coal, the world today consumes the equivalent of 250 million barrels a day, while the estimated total of all sustainable alternative energy implemented today accounts for a mere 2 million equivalent barrels per day. Mind the gap takes on a whole new meaning here. At this moment of a blossoming global recognition about the scope of the problem, the key challenge is not to lose hope. There is a door that can lead out. Let's call it the search for sustainable living and meaningful work. Rebecca Solnit, in her book, Hope in the Dark, expresses it beautifully. To hope is to give yourself to the future, and that commitment makes the present inhabitable. Sustainable living. We must face the fact that we're all operating outside of a safe envelope. It's going to be a difficult and complicated transition back to a viable method of consumption that respects nature, yet offers us the life we desire and have become so accustomed to. Sustainability as a movement holds three principles that must be present to achieve success. The first is social order. This includes a fair and fairly elected government that provides all the infrastructure to offer affordable homes, healthy food, medical support, educational opportunities for all, etc. Then comes economy. Without the chance for making a decent living, there is no hope for a peaceful, happy, and successful society. Also, for business to be sustainable, there must evolve a retooling initiative to consciously account for all external negative impacts of manufacturing, yet at the same time return reasonable profits to their stakeholders. And third, and most time-critical legs of sustainability, is to cease and desist in the rapid destruction of the environment. This may be the greatest threat that we face today, short of another world war, and failure to act may mean the undoing of all we hold close and understand is life worth living. The choices we make have a lot to do with the future we create. For instance, choosing to work for a specific company that is forward-thinking and acts responsibly, and then letting the company who may have also wanted your services know how and why you base your decision would, for that industry, mark a noticeable change of attitude in the workforce. More than ever, the individual acts we choose to make and the resultant synergy of the combined energies may hold the promise for a changeable future in which our citizens become an empowered force, not a herd. Ronald Wright eloquently explained the choices we must make in an essay titled A Slow Death by Progress. He says, "Our greatest experiment, civilization itself, will succeed only if it can live on nature's terms, not man's. To do this, we must adopt principles in which the short term is trumped by the long, in which caution prevails over ingenuity, in which the absurd myth of endless growth is replaced by respect for natural limits, in which progress is steered by precautionary wisdom. This ideological shift is the most urgent task for science and society, for professors, politicians, priests, and writers." And I would add to this list designers, engineers, and artists. Because in these occupations, many of the objects we create reflect our collective desires. Fine art, something that I hold dear to my heart, when done well, takes on the difficult job of holding a mirror to our interior selves or aspires to chart horizons that form the still unknown edges of human experience and understanding. Both design and art should be regarded as research and development within our current social condition. It is my experience that in academia and beyond, we as a culture give greater importance to science than we do to the humanities. One is empirical knowledge and the other is symbolic knowledge. And it is empirical that gets the major funding while humanities suffers as the poorer cousin. I believe both are critical, science to search for ways that can lead us out of our self-destructive tendencies, and humanities to tell the story and create the new mythologies and value systems that adopt a new and sustainable mode of behavior. Now, I don't want to send you out on a dire note of hopelessness and despair. I see in students today a great concern and there are incredible advocates for doing the right thing. Change has two flavors, positive or negative. You know what positive change looks like and tastes like. Make sure you order it next time at your counter. Good luck to all of you today, and try to look beyond your present reality to do what is right for the future generations. Think of what we have today as a loan from future. Think of yourselves as good campers and conscientious guests of the planet, and do what you can to leave the campsite better than you found it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bertinsky. I would now like to invite Professor Deborah Buzzard, Deputy Vice Chancellor and Principal of the Okanagan campus, to make remarks and to introduce our other speakers. Professor Buzzard.
Thank you, President Toop. And thank you to Dr. Bertinsky for a wonderful presentation. I'm speaking to the graduates of the class of 2013, among the pioneers of this new campus of UBC. And you've all been privileged to see this campus grow around you during your time here. And I believe all of you have moved into the new Engineering Management and Education building during the time of your studies. So I thank you and commend you for your patience and tolerance with the upheavals that must have meant. What an experience you've had over the past 4 years as this campus has grown up. And I just want to give you a piece of late-breaking news, which will be of particular interest to the engineering graduates today. And that is that only yesterday, we had received a renewed accreditation from the Canadian Engineering Accreditation Board, recognizing the academic excellence of all of our engineering programs. So I think you could join with me in congratulating the staff of the program. When you began your studies here at UBC, you were encouraged to make this university your own. Many times during your years of study, you have heard or read the UBC motto, Tuum Est. You see it behind me. It translates as, it is yours, or it's up to you. Now that you're graduating, this phrase takes on new meaning. The future, in fact, is up to you. We live in a world of rapid transformation, much of which you've seen very well expressed on the screens here. Technological changes compel us to do things very differently, to live in a more connected fashion than at any time in the past. Much of this is good. We're coming to our senses with regard to the environment. Social injustice is harder to hide and harder to hide from. And advances in healthcare hold the promise of improving billions of lives. But so much remains that we can and must change. International strife, famine, and too many gross injustices continue to undermine the civil and sustainable world that we all seek. And this is where you shall shine, where your impact will be felt in business, in education, across the sciences, in the arts, in politics, engineering, and health. Your UBC education and experiences have equipped you to improve the community and the planet, and to contribute to the future of our society in so many meaningful ways. Simply put, we, my generation, look to you to make this world a better place. We know that you're smarter than us, and that you have the capacity for bold and great contributions. I speak for our entire campus community in saying that we are immensely proud to have been part of preparing you for the challenges and opportunities that you will face. We have given you our very best. You've benefited from wonderful professors and opportunities to learn and grow far beyond any classroom, in the community and internationally. And we have grown and learned with you and from you. So it's natural that we have tremendous hope for our future, because our shared future is very much in your capable hands. I'll quote Nelson Mandela, South African leader, and a man who completed his university education in prison. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world, and you will. I close with sincere congratulations on the achievements that have brought you to this point in your lives today. Our university aspires to change the world. You will make real our ambitions. It is indeed over to you now. Tuum est. Think and act boldly. Innovate, contribute. You can, you must, you will make the world a better place. We wish you the greatest of success on the exciting new journeys that you begin today. Thank you. I'm pleased now to call upon Mr. Patrick Fetchko, member of the graduating class, to make remarks and introduce the gifts to the university.
Just going to pour myself a little drink here. Madam Chancellor, honored guests, and fellow graduates, I am honored to stand before you today as a representative of the UBC Okanagan graduating class of 2013. We are a class of individuals coming from many backgrounds, and at UBC we find common ground in our studies. Many of us have spent 4 years here, but some have transferred in from other institutions and have spent 2 or more years on this beautiful campus. Regardless of the individual time spent, we are UBC. We found the importance of working together throughout our time at UBC, even if it took a bit of a push from our professors on occasion. Whether it was support from students and faculty when workloads and stress levels were on the rise, or just having someone to kick the hacky sack with for a moment's break in between classes. Our time together has enriched our student lives. Working together allowed us to learn from each other, giving opportunities to see the problem from a different perspective, as well as a chance to clarify concepts with our fellow students. While working in groups was a very effective way to learn, we also had to be strong and open-minded individuals and make the choices that would guide our education and life in our desired direction. Tuum est, which has been mentioned, is "it is up to you." I believe that this motto embodies what it means to be a student, and that as a student we have lived and will continue to live this motto every day. We will soon be in the workforce, and the decisions we make every day will reflect both on ourselves and UBC. So one could say that with great power comes great responsibility. We were not forced to go to school. When we were accepted, we were given an opportunity to study under a very dedicated and knowledgeable faculty at an internationally recognized university. And that choice was ours to make. For those students sitting here today, I would like to congratulate you on following through with your choice to pursue higher education and rising to the challenge where others would admit defeat. With a legacy gift symbolic of lifelong ties, the class of 2013 has placed a commemorative stone tablet in the main courtyard walkway. Year after year, new tablets will be placed as a lasting tribute to each and every proud alumnus who once worked and played here. So I'd like to wrap things up and finish with a quote from US President Barack Obama that I believe resonates with this specific graduating class and our responsibilities after today. It took a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get to where we are today, but we have just begun. Today, we begin in earnest the work of making sure that the world we leave our children is just a little bit better than the one we inhabit today. Thank you for listening, and let's hear it for the class of 2013.
Thank you, Patrick. I now ask Professor Wesley Pugh, Provost and Vice Principal of the Okanagan campus, to introduce the Award for Teaching Excellence and Innovation.
It is my pleasure to introduce the Award for Teaching Excellence and Innovation. This award, including a $3,000 prize, recognizes outstanding teachers at the Okanagan campus as nominated by their students, by their faculty colleagues, and by alumni. The award highlights the importance of teaching in creating an outstanding student experience. At this time, I would like to announce one of the recipients of the Junior Faculty Award for Teaching Excellence and Innovation, Dr. Jonathan Holtzman from the School of Engineering. I'm going to read for you a citation prepared by those who nominated Dr. Holtzman. Dr. Jonathan Holtzman is an associate professor with the School of Engineering in the Faculty of Applied Sciences. Dr. Holtzman is an outstanding scholar and teacher. Each year since 2008, he has been recognized by Teaching Honor Roll Awards or School of Engineering Awards for excellence in teaching. Highly regarded by his students and colleagues, he has developed innovative activities that nurture student-centered learning, inquiry-based learning, and that promote critical thinking. He has helped to knit these values into the engineering curriculum through his involvement with creating and delivering many new undergraduate and graduate courses. Please join with me in congratulating Dr. Holtzman.
Thank you very much, Wes, and congratulations to Dr. Holtzman. Will the candidates for degrees please rise? Madam Chancellor, I have the pleasure of presenting the candidates for degrees who have successfully completed their studies and fulfilled the conditions that the university has set for them. The Okanagan Senate of this university recommends them to you for the degrees that will be announced by a representative of the faculties. As each degree is officially conferred, the Dean of the Faculty, and in the case of graduate students, the Dean of the College of Graduate Studies will congratulate the student. Bill Dunsmore and Sandra Mimic, members of the alumni community, will present each student with an alumni gift. The candidates will please be seated.
Madam Chancellor, I have the pleasure of presenting to you the candidates for the degree Doctor of Philosophy. Mohammed Shafiqul Islam. Dr. Islam has developed innovative methods for the detection of pipeline integrity and water quality failures in distribution networks. His prognostic methods will reduce uncertainties in the early detection of failures, whereas diagnostic methods will reduce false positive and false negative predictions. His research will help to improve the overall reliability of water supply in Canada and worldwide. Dr. Islam. Bahare Reza. Dr. Reza developed an innovative sustainability appraisal framework to provide comprehensive and reliable information to support decision-making related to sustainable built environments and asset management. She subsequently applied her method to plan long-term sustainable strategies for the built environment systems at minimal socioeconomic cost and with the least environmental impact. Dr. Reza. Amin Zargar Yagoubi. Dr. Zargar Yagoubi developed a method to calculate the increase in drought occurrences that will result from climate change. He applied the method to summer drought in the Okanagan and developed risk maps for wildfires. The risk maps help decision makers to better plan and allocate mitigation efforts for future droughts. Dr. Yagoubi. Irfan Bagani. Dr. Bagani studied the electrical properties of the defect lines within gallium nitride and indium nitride, two semiconductor materials that are the focus of much recent interest. His analyses of the free electron concentration and the electron mobility within these semiconductors has implications for electronic and optoelectronic device performance. Dr. Bagani. Sina Jame. Dr. Jame investigated the applicability of novel pathogen detection techniques developed for biological quality control of drinking water. His research resulted in introducing alternative techniques which will enhance the reliability and performance of standard pathogen detection methods currently used by Canadian municipalities. Dr. Jame. Gustavo E. Aguilar, Master of Applied Science. Madam Chancellor, I have the pleasure of presenting to you the candidates for the degree Master of Applied Science. Sharmin Akhtar. Kazra Bigdeli. David Michael Cresswell. Jose Ciro Garcia Batres. ABM Rafiqul Haq. Naveed Hosseini Fard. Sheikh Nijam Ali. M.D. Shariful Islam. Andre Mark Allen Johnson. Sanjida Begum Minar. Qian Zhang. Mazyar Jalal. Madam Chancellor, I have the pleasure of presenting to you the candidate for the degree Master of Engineering, Nguyen Chen Tong.
Madam Chancellor, I have the pleasure of presenting to you the candidate for the degree Master of Education, Karen Ann Bedard. Jennifer Ann Bowden. Danielle Michelle Godwin. Jillian Cornock. Over here. Maria Lorinda Alves Cullen. Stacy Sharon Daly. Shannon Lee Daniels. Brianna Hocazano. Laura Lee Jeffrey. Brianna E. Lemiski. Ben Lewis. Tarina Mailer. Irina Maria McDonald.
Give her the card.
Saria McLean. Angela Mary Schott. Trevor Raymond Schultz. Efrozini Simpson. Anthony Frank Sonoa. Crystal Stone. Laurie Kim Tassi. Emily Jean Verstrata. James R. Williams.
Madam Chancellor, I have the pleasure of presenting to you the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Applied Science. Timothy Abbott. Lucas Abraham. Sean Badasha. Cody Bagg. Kurt Baya. Michael Christian Bernier. Brandon Russell Bolin. Zane Russell Bork. Tanner Bratton. Brandon Richard Bradshaw. Byron Burgert. Rohit Chauhan. Megan Lynn Cherry. Wiley Christensen. Benjamin James Dorsey. Luke Jacob William Friesen. Clifford Harold Gilker. Joseph Glavina. Julia Halipchak. Mark Nathan Harold. Jason Hodgins. Emma Hullebeck. Ryan Idzis. Sandra Kelly Iroegbu. Aaron Lane Kapitsky. Joseph Warren Crago. Graham Kuzek. Cody Tyler Marwood. Natasha Orlitsky. Nicholas Pennell. Colton Paulson. Caleb Wade Pomeroy. Willem Joseph Rolleman. Cameron Eric Roth. Richard Singer. Corey Seville. Daryl Patrick Smiley. Brent Stratton. Ki Jun Sung. Scott Simi. Adrian Wardle. Nicholas Andrews. Ryan Bernath. Max Bethune Wadel. Stephen Boehm. Brandon Bourne. Alexander Oliver Klum. Trevor Michael Dodgy. Devin Francis Farr. Daniel Guerrero. Matthew James Jude. Philip Jason Pablo. Tyler Wesley Sigrist. Michael Todd Wilshire. Yu Chao Zhang. Patrick William Alguire. James Robert Anderson. Paul David Barry. Philip Batt. Ryan Brabander. Matthew Buett. Carlos Antonio Capella. Camille Chabarro. Neil Daniel Chabot. Benjamin Clark. Sierra Fallon Crawford. Patrick Joseph Peter Fetchko. Kieran Fitzpatrick. Amos John Gould. Joshua Lattis Graham. Garrett Hunt. David Franklin Ingham. Arlo Johnson. Matthew Kay. James Jordan Kerr. Dallin James Kennelly. Ryan Neal. Blake Cohn. Darren Lowe. Daniel Adam Ludwig. Stephen Lydiatz. Shanail Sami Mudalyar. Reed Nielsen. Sean Patrick Nolan. Marie-Leen O'Brien. Graham Pavlik. Ryan Phillips. Nikki Milan Popov. Travis Rains. Michael Saunders. Curtis Leslie Schlam. Niels Olav Stockinger. Jack Charles Taylor. Barton Wiley Truman. Mitchell Gerald Nicholas Van Hannigan. Aaron Angela Vogt. Madam Chancellor, I have the pleasure of presenting to you the recipient of the award's head of the graduating class, Samuel Yu. Chang Da Zhang.
Madam Chancellor, I have the pleasure of presenting to you the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Education. Janelle Nicole Ardley. Drew Bottentoe. Ashley Braywood. James Andrew Bush. Molia Rita Campos. Kaylee Cousin. Julianne Christie Dawes. Candace Denoyer. Christina DeMarciello. Alicia Lynn Fryer Thomas. Kyla M. Gilroy. Catherine Jane Hewitson. Jerry Lynn Hickling. Amanda Suzanne Jasky. Katie Jorgensen. Maria Claude Keeber. Samantha Kilmartin. Sarah N. Krasinski. Krista Kariper. Lindsay Yvonne Lapin. Jacqueline B. Likens. Cato McNeil. Julian Lauren May. Keishi Barita McCluskey. Joseph McLean. Brittany M. Meyer. Laura Elizabeth Myers. Michelle Lorraine Mokert. Sarah Dawn Polsom. Sandra Ribellato. Kathleen Rhodes. Brittany Elsie Ratter. Jillian Valerie Schlosser. Beth Ann Jane Shelton. Madam Chancellor, I am pleased to announce the recipient of the University of British Columbia Medal in Education, Roberta Nicole Snow. Nicole Lynn Marie Thompson. Caitlin Wanless. Christina Williamson. Kelsey Ann Butner. Connor James Murdoch. Tajan Claire Williams. Amy Marjorie Elaine Breck. Stuart James McKinnon. Joseph Lionel Madsen. Alexander Reed. Angela Michelle Finley. Michael Lee Cowan-Holden. Allison Juan Witcher.
For those graduates who have just crossed the stage today, and for all of those who were unable to attend today's ceremony, with respect to the appropriate degrees as shown in the program, I hereby admit you. Will all the graduates please rise? It has been my great pleasure to meet and congratulate each member of today's graduating class. You've each invested a great deal of determination, focus, and hard work in obtaining your degree. And now, just as you graduate, this would be a perfect time for you to turn around and show your appreciation for the support of your parents, family, and friends by giving them a big round of applause. Having crossed this stage today, you are now members of the Convocation of UBC. You are in good company. Since UBC began granting degrees in 1916, more than 290,000 women and men have crossed a stage just like this one to receive their degrees and have gone on to build our communities and shape our society. As alumni, your relationship with UBC is beginning anew. You can maintain your voice in the affairs of UBC through your elected members in Senate, by mentoring today's students, or by participating in UBC's many volunteer opportunities, both here and abroad. And as lifelong learners, you're always welcome to come back and take a course or two. I encourage you to stay involved and be part of the future of this great institution. You have so much to offer UBC, as it still has much to offer you. To M.A.Sc. Please be seated.
Thank you, Madam Chancellor. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings our ceremony to a close. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have, and that all of you will be able to stay for refreshments, which will be served in the courtyard immediately after the ceremony. Our guests are requested to remain in their places until the academic processions have left the building. Thank you all so much for joining us today, and I know that you will join me in congratulating one last time the fabulous graduates of UBC 2013.